What is going on, Summoners? We're back here today with another official Marvel Contest of Champions live stream here on twitch.tv/Kabam. I'm your host, Kabamasaurus Rex, and we've got a stacked stream locked and loaded waiting just for you. We're talking about new champs, buff champs, major updates, and some other key surprises along the way. Now, I'm way too excited to spend any longer on this intro, so let's get into it. What is going on, Summoners? We are back here today with another official Marvel Contest of Champions live stream. I'm your host, Kabamasaurus Rex, aka Karate Mike. That's my legal name, so we'll go by the dinosaur one today. I'm so excited to have you guys here with us at the studio in Vancouver. We got a great show with a lot of surprises, some new champions. My buddy Kabam Dork left me all alone today, so I'm flying solo, but don't worry, I'm gonna take good care of you all. Before we get into it today, we got some shout outs. We're here live on twitch.tv/Kabam, also YouTube, and our newest platform, also on Steam. So we're going to be monitoring all of those chats. If you got any questions, if you got any comments, why don't you shoot us over a little question at Kabam on Twitch, also on YouTube and Steam. We got our buddy Kabam Vincent monitoring that. He's going to let us know if we got anything pivotal going on. All right, before we get into this today, I think we got some ground rules, and it's one pretty easy one. James, why don't you throw it on the screen? All you gotta do is be nice. One rule, that's all we ask. It's not that hard. I believe in you. I'm gonna be nice to you. You be nice to me. That's all we got going on here. So, let's start jumping into the show today. We got some announcements before we get going. So, we got 4 more days left on those Saga incursions and the Alliance War Encounter Showcase. If you haven't jumped in yet, why don't you get in, do it before it's too late. The Dimensional Arcade is now live. We got some stuff to talk about later on with that. Summoners Fest and Battle Realm Brawl is actively ongoing. We're going to be jumping into that as well. And also, those Twitch drops. Now, are you linked up with your Twitch drops? Well, let me tell you something. Even if you are, why don't you take a second, go on into that, and reconnect, all right? So in our Twitch drops, we finally got those things to work. We think we got it all ironed out. That's where you're gonna get a lot of those Summoners Fest Realm event points. So head on over into your notification sections, go on over to inventory and hit connect. Once you do that, it's gonna bring you over to this page over here. Now, when you see that little link, okay, when the line is through it, that does mean that you're connected. But just in case, I'm gonna ask that you unconnect that, hit the little button, do it again, and reauthorize the Twitch drops onto your Kabam account, all right? This is just to make sure you're connected, because even if you've been connected in the past, we just want to make sure you get everything that we promise you're going to get, all right? So, with all that being said, we also got some giveaways like we always do. We got our 5 Titan Crystals. We also have our 5 Champion giveaways. If you don't know how to enter that, don't even worry, because I'm going to tell you right now. I want you to go to playcontestofchampions.com/stream giveaway. No longer need that / like we used to. We got rid of that, thankfully. Do that, and you're entered to win either a Titan Crystal or a Champion choice of the new champions, of course. All right, we're through the announcements. We're ready to jump into the show. So, we are actively in the Fantastic Four saga. It has been a really fun one so far. There's been a lot of fantastic content going on, and we are not done yet. Let's go over a little overview of what we've done so far, okay? Between June and September, so far we've got that saga-themed raids, the saga sale, new saga chase champion in Mr. Fantastic, a new idol chase in Solvark. Gonna learn a lot more about that guy today. The Alliance War Encounter Showcase, the Incursion Saga Sector, the special rotating saga boost, saga-themed meta events, Rebirth, talking all about that today, and a lot more. Again, Mr. Fantastic is now available if you got those research grants, so head on over to, I believe it's in the Trader's Outpost store. That way you can get him. Now, here's the thing. With the Fantastic Four saga, we've been doing those rotating boosts in the event quest and in the side quest with all of the members of the Fantastic Four. Coming up in August, we have Invisible Woman's turn with the Invisible Woman's Finesse boost. All right, Someone's saying this is a video, right? Nope, it is not. We're actually doing this live. So, Invisible Woman's Finesse in August. Dodging is going to grant you a 0.5 second untouchable passive. Now, anytime the opponent misses a hit, you're going to gain a 15-second cruelty. These max out at 5 stacks, and once you hit 5 stacks, you're also going to have your critical rating increased by 2,000. These cruelties are paused until the attacker is struck or blocks a hit. Now, these are all of the things going on new in the Fantastic Four saga coming up in August, at least in regards to the boosts and whatnot. Let's keep it going today. Speaking of the Fantastic Four saga, have you played the Fantastic Force recruitment? Because I have. It's been a pretty fun time. Now, this is a completely new concept, right, in MCOC. We've really not seen many things like this before, and, you know, over the past couple of months, we've been trying to peel the curtain back, let you guys in on our process, and just kind of understand where we're at in the game, in our monthly events, and all of that stuff. You know, we've been iterating a lot on our event quests, on our side quests. We've kind of said, hey, you know what? This has been going on for a long time. The monthly EQ, it's really not doing it for us anymore. The side quests, they're not really doing it for us anymore. So we're going to try to keep things fresh a little bit. I've loved seeing all of your feedback on the Fantastic Force recruitment, both good and bad. Believe it or not, I actually really appreciate a lot of the constructive criticism all of you guys leave on the forums, Discord, Twitter. I read it all. I spend hours every day pretty much compiling your feedback, bringing it to the game team. That way we can build the best game possible for all of you. That's one thing that I love about doing this, is seeing how different groups of people interact with the different things that we put out. So, Fantastic Force recruitment was received very, very well, right? At least initially. You know, you guys seem to enjoy it. It's a new thing. There was lots of engagement, right? Especially at the beginning. It's one of our highest, most engaged side quests that we've done in the past few years. Let's talk about some other stuff that we got going on. So, if you haven't played MCOC in the past week or so, if you took a little bit of a break, you may have missed the Dimensional Arcade Doom Cycle. Let's talk a little bit about some of our goals for this new mode, okay? When we were building this, we were looking for a new game mode, kind of unlike anything we've tried before. We wanted to bring a casual, arcade-like game style to MCOC, kind of inspired by, you know, roguelike auto-battler mechanics with some low-stakes gameplay for short play sessions. Now, I touched a bit on, you know, feedback, you know, give us your honest thoughts, tell us what you're thinking, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. It's really important, because that's how we build the best game possible. So, let's have a little fireside chat here about Doom Cycle and Dimensional Arcade. So let's peel back the curtain just a little bit more. Let's be super candid here, all right? We hear you loud and clear about Doom Cycle and Dimensional Arcade, and we understand everything that you're saying, where you're coming from. You know, you have to understand here. We're a 10-year-old game, and we have to evolve and try new things in order to keep the experience fresh. What that means is that not every idea is going to land perfectly or how we want it to land. So Doom Cycle pretty much missed the mark for many of our vocal core players, and we understand that, and we also understand why. But there's some really important nuance here. This is the first iteration of a completely brand new concept. Look at Battlegrounds, for example. Now, completely different. But that took months of beta to define, right? So new modes and concepts, they need time and your feedback to grow. Again, these are two really, really different concepts, but we're testing it to see what resonates, especially with our newer players. Now, this in no way means that we're planning on turning Contest into an auto-battler. We love this game exactly how it is, just as much as all of you do, right? But we're learning about our changing audience, and we want to kind of push the boundaries as we do that. So we're testing concepts like Dimensional Arcade, like Squad Builder, right? Kind of to see what sticks, what you like. Asking, is this cool? Do you want to engage with it? Your input gives us the green light to either move forward and iterate further, build upon it, or kind of pivot and change up what we're doing, right? Go back to the drawing board. So the next time you see Dimensional Arcade, if we do bring it back, it'll likely look very different from how it does right now, after we've had a full round of feedback. So we're absolutely going to continue trying new things. We've been saying that for months. We're going to keep things fresh. We want to grow. We want to evolve. We're 10 years in. But we're also building on what we know works. And trust me, we know what works. With our event modes, we're going to keep experimenting because they're not permanent. We can iterate them quickly. We can get feedback and improve. Some of these are going to try to hit different audience groups than others. That's just kind of the reality of a game this massive, right? Not every game mode is going to appeal to every single person, and it's not every mode is going to be one of your favorites, but that's kind of the reality when a game is this large. But we're also working on those permanent additions at the same time, along with new permanent game modes that are currently in development. Those are a lot bigger, and they take a lot more work to get through because they have to be larger, they have to appeal to a larger group of players, and they have to be built to last. So what I'm trying to say here essentially is that with this new initiative of launching these side quests, our hit rate's not going to be 100% for the entire player base, right? It almost can't be with the speed that we're moving at. But trust me, we're listening, we care about what you're saying, we need you to continue giving your feedback. That way we can build the best game possible for you. All right, end rant. If you haven't played Doom Cycle, give it a try. It becomes pretty fun. It's a pretty fun time. So this is Doom Cycle, if you haven't seen it. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty fun. It's very different, you know? It's a very different feel. That brings us perfectly into Valiant EQ. So we're trying new things with the side quests. We're trying new things with the event quests. Valiant EQ launched, and man, you guys loved it, and I loved seeing your feedback on it. One of the biggest pieces of feedback that we got after version 1 was, hey, there are way too many portals, all right? This is ridiculous. I don't like the map. Can we fix that? So we made a shift. We got rid of the portals for the second month. Now, when building these tests, okay, we kind of built this in 2 sets of 2. That's what we were doing. We wanted to test out the EQ formats, see what we like. Now, Kabam Zen was on our stream last month talking about some of this stuff, and he said something to me that really resonated with me, and I've been saying this to a lot of people ever since. When you hit a home run on the first try, it's very hard to follow that up unless you hit a grand slam. And I think that is just a brilliant phrase, right? And we've seen your feedback again on the second version of Valiant EQ. And a lot of that feedback is, oh, well, they're definitely going to go back to the first one after this. You know, it's obvious that we don't like that, right? Oh, well, the first one was so much better. Go back to that. The way we built this was 2 sets of 2 months. By the time we got all of that feedback, our next month was already locked. So let's peel the curtain back a little bit more now on how that dev cycle works, right? Our upcoming Valiant EQ was already in the process while the other one was going live. So the upcoming Valiant EQ is going to be similar to the format that's currently live right now. However, we are able to make some updates to test out and see what happens there. So there's going to be 1 less fight in each subsection. So instead of doing 3 fights per section in between every change, there's only going to be 2. This is going to significantly reduce the overall amount of fights because one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we got was, okay, the amount of fights increased. We don't really like that. So can we kind of like go back to the amount of fights that we had? So we should have the similar amount of fights that we had in the first version. Okay? It was a little bit too late to pivot completely, but we can make tiny adjustments here and there. So again, thank you for giving your feedback, because what that does is it allows us to build the best game possible for you. Looking at the adaptive difficulty event quest, it's going to be mirrored very closely to version 1 of Valiant EQ. We talked about this a bunch over the past couple of months, right? This is going to be the event quest format that's going to be building with your progression, building with your top 30 prestige for your champions and your relics. Going to have your traditional regular level and also the elder difficulty based on that gauntlet format. So after running these tests, we've kind of determined, all right, they kind of like the first version quite a bit. So we're kind of going to run with that. And that's kind of what we're going to move forward with. And that's how the first version of the adaptive difficulty event quest is going to be. Right now, we're pretty hard set on launching this thing in September. We're almost there. We've been working on this for a very, very long time. We have some fantastic people making this quest, and I'm super excited to get this into the game. So, with all that being said, we got some other very cool stuff to talk about today, some other brand new things to talk about today. Actually, that's not true, because we got to talk about this first. We have Summoners Fest. If you haven't heard, you know what, this is a brand new thing. This is a cool new thing as well, so I wasn't entirely wrong about that. But if you haven't heard, we're hosting a little event here at the office in Vancouver in November 8th and 9th at the headquarters, where you can come and meet the devs, play unreleased content, see some massive reveals and roadmap teasers, and also Battle Realm Brawl is back, making its return alongside that Summoners Fest Realm event all summer long. Now, the first season of qualifiers for Battle Realm Brawl is almost over. There are about 5 days left. A little reminder, the player who places in Celestial 1 is going to get that free ride ticket guaranteed in the top 8 at Battle Realm Brawl in November. After this season and next season combined, the players with the top 8 scores overall, right, there's going to be like a combined leaderboard. That's how we're going to get our top 8. So if you're pushing in that C4 slot right now, you're trying to get that C1, you got 5 more days to max out that score. For Battle Realm Brawl, and speaking of Battle Realm Brawl, remember the first one? Remember who won the first one? Shout out to FinTech for getting the gold in Battle Realm Brawl version 1. We're going to do a little celebration of that. We got a FinTech celebration quest going on, launching on August 13th. What this is going to do is we're going to take on FinTech's path to victory from Brawl 2023. It's going to be one quest with 4 paths and some solo objectives that are going to be made to use FinTech's champions that he used from the Brawl. So the rewards here are essentially going to be geared towards the Summoners Fest Realm event. So if you go in, do the quest, use the champions and the objectives, you can get some of those realm points. Now, we got something new, something fun and exciting to talk about. Look at these beautiful things. James, can we get this guy on the full screen right here? Look at that. Look at that. Those are beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful new Statcast Relics. And to talk about Statcast Relics, I brought my buddy onto the stream, the greatest mustache in the Battle Realm. We got my buddy Kabam Ein.
Hey, how's it going?
AKA
There's
Simon.
2 of
How
them
you
now.
doing, buddy? There are.
I can see myself on the screen now.
Look at
Next
that.
time I'm on the stream, I'm definitely not wearing shorts.
Hey, that's all right, man. That's all right, man. That's all right. How you doing, bud?
Doing well.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've been. Have you ever been on a live stream actually before?
I've not been on this format of live stream, but I have been on. Like I was on the live stream once back when we were doing the New York Comic-Con thing on the big Marvel stage, which was very exciting.
Yeah, and that was a while ago too, though. So
it's
great to have you.
Maybe even 2 minutes. Or
maybe
3.
even 3. So before we get into StatCast and all that fun stuff today, why don't you tell us a little bit about your time on MCOC? You've been here for quite a bit throughout the years.
Yeah. I think it was 2016, question mark?
That's a very long time ago.
Yeah. For those who have been around long enough, Phoenix was like the first thing that I directly was responsible for that got released into the game, like the original version of Phoenix way back in the day. Yeah, and then I was like a champion designer for a long time. I helped run the champions team for a long time. Using the lead designer of the project for a little bit, and then I stepped away for a couple of years to try something else because I think I'd been on the project for 6 or 7 years at that point, and it was time to try something else. And now I'm back.
Now you're back.
Now we're back. Yeah.
Welcome back, man. It's great to have you back.
Exactly. It's been a lot of fun.
Before we dive into Relics, one more thing. Who's your favorite champion that you've ever designed?
My favorite, that I've ever designed. I don't know. I've gone back and forth. Maybe one of the most successful champions I've ever designed was Cap Infinity War.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And he really kind of stood the test of time, and it was kind of a nice mix of interesting enough gameplay, but not overly complicated. And I thought he really kind of represented his character in the Marvel universe really well, because he was really about leading a team, and so much of his potency was in his synergies, and he got powers based on who's on your team, and he gave more powers to other people on his team. So that felt like a really good balance of a strong character who's kind of stood the test of time.
And he really has.
Wasn't overly complicated, and was one of the first real intentional implementations of canceling the heavy animation into the special attack, which is something that's become kind of a staple.
Absolutely. That's fantastic, man. So that's great. Captain Infinity War, an old champion who still does some pretty incredible things. So let's start talking about these Statcast Relics, all right?
Sure,
so these things are launching on August 8th, as you can see right there. We're going to be releasing them in batches like we have the previous relics. They're going to have one primary attribute, one secondary, stat bonuses on both attack and defense, with strikers, of course, strikers only on attack. We've said all of this before. We've talked about all this on the stream before. What we're bringing you here for is, dude, tell us a little bit about your design process here. So first of all, you left the project for a bit, right? And during that time, relics kind of took over in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like you come back and all of a sudden it's kind of like a different game.
It was interesting because I was here when we were making relics originally, so I was involved in the process, but then they had like just come out when I stepped away. So it's been this kind of interesting like blink to 2 years later, and like, oh, okay, because there was a lot of controversy, let's say, around relics when they first came out, and we weren't sure how much we liked them. But coming back and it's like, oh, the strikers are really cool. Like actually, there's some interesting things here. But also, we learned a lot about relics. Even while I was still here, but certainly while I've been away, and one of the big things that we've learned is that the relics as we ship them were too complicated. Like we wanted to do a lot with them. We wanted to give player choice and have them influence the RPG of your characters and all of this stuff.
And why is that too complicated to consistently do?
So it's complicated on a couple of sides. One, most of them related to game balance. So from a development standpoint, we put a lot of work onto the balance team because of all of the potential interactions and how powerful they could be when you combine them with the correct champions. That like it puts a lot of work on the balance designers because the balance designers have to look at every champion and all the combinations of nodes and all the combinations of relics as well. And so it's kind of a multiplicative problem set. And so even just adding a few extra relics can result in a massive new number of new combinations possible. And so that's a lot of work. And then on the champion or relic designer side of things, it was really kind of a knife's edge to walk to try and make them interesting and exciting and powerful enough to make them something that are exciting for players to use. But then there also have to be all these choices, which means that each relic is quite a large endeavor. And that led us to making really complicated abilities to them. So, our battle casts have they do this, but if you put them on these 5 champions, then they do this as well. And if you put on this tag, and that's kind of just like a lot of homework for the players where you have to go find, okay, well, what is exactly the right combination of champion and relic? And they can be really, really strong when you find that, but there's a lot of overhead to that.
And also, all the time it takes to switch those from champion to champion as well, if you want to change your Battlegrounds deck, or even just your Alliance War team.
Yeah, and that partially came from all of the complication in making these and the effort to make these. We couldn't actually make all that many of them, and so there aren't really even enough of them for you to fill your Battlegrounds deck, which means you have to switch them even more, and you use different champions.
With this new format, right?
Exactly.
We're kind of trying to solve that issue, right? Because strikers became a core part of the MCOC experience, so we had to provide players with enough relics to support that.
Yeah, and so Statcast is coming at it really from the other angle, where they're much, much simpler. They're much more widely useful. They don't have a lot of RPG interactions, which means that it's much, much easier for the balance team and for the design team to make them and balance them correctly. And that also means that we can make a lot more of them because they can be combined in different ways, right? So we have a primary attribute and then 5 different secondary attributes that all go to that same statue. And that means, for every primary and every statue we make, we can make 5 relics, or we could add more secondaries later. And so we can build a lot more of them, which means that we can give out enough of them that you can fill your whole Battlegrounds deck up with them.
Fantastic.
And it's a lot more immediately apparent where the value comes from. If you increase the critical rating or you increase the special damage of a champion, whatever, that's very obvious, and it's just beneficial for any champion.
So it sounds to me kind of obviously there will be some, key matches there. But like, for example, I'd imagine like Bullseye would like some crit damage increase, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we kind of want it to be where like you can kind of put the relic on any champion as long as the class matches, because again they're class based, and you're gonna have at least a good time, and it's gonna work, and you're gonna be good to go.
Any relic will be beneficial for any champion, but then you can find specific matchups that are better. Do you have a champion that has abilities that react to landing critical hits? Well, then raising their critical rating will kick that ability off more often. Or do you have a champion that has, a particular strength against, energy damage, but you want to shore up their weakness against physical damage? So you go find a physical resistance relic and you stick that on them and find that balance. You have a champion that's really good on offense, but does a ton of damage, but low block proficiency, and so you can get chipped out in a longer quest or a longer fight. We'll go find a block proficiency relic and stick that on them.
Yeah.
So do you want to try and enhance the existing strength, or do you want to try and shore up a weakness of a character? And then that's the decision making that we think is there. And I was going through the second batch of these relics with one of our balance designers just yesterday.
The second batch.
Having an interesting conversation. Yeah, batch 1 is like done. It's coming out next week, right? It better be done. So yeah, we're already talking about batch 2 and like what new attributes are we going to add, and how are we going to keep it interesting and add additional choices. And so there's relics in batch 2 that you'll want for different champions than for batch 1.
So in batch 1, we're doing 60 different relics and three rarities, so 180.
Yes.
Right, and then batch 2, also 180?
Correct, same thing again.
360 relics by October, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, across 3 rarities.
Of
so
course.
like if you're an end game player, you might not care as much about the 5-star relics as you do about the 6-star or the 7-star relics.
Super fair.
But yeah, there'll be tons, and that will also allow the team to give the econ team to give out a lot of these as rewards. And so if you're an end game player, you can go hunt the much more potent 7-star relics, and we hope those will become things that are important to players to finding the right combinations, both of relic, primary and secondary attribute, and what champion to put them on in things like Alliance War and Battlegrounds. But then also, 5-star and 6-star relics be important to a progressing player, and just getting access to strikers at all, and then using that in all of the different content, because we've tried to lean into them, right? So you find, you notice striker-based paths in event quests and in act content and all of that. And so having the strikers available to players is really important, and giving them a chance to use them and learn all the cool things that you can do.
I love it, dude. So on that note, these relics will be launching on August 8th, and it's going to be launching with an Alliance Relic event, and we'll be doing some more details on that later on in the stream. But after that initial launch, there's also going to be new story content going forward. We'll feature those Statcast shards. Existing story content is going to stay the same. Statcast shards and Valiant EQ starting in September in that adaptive difficulty quest. And also, starting in October, we're going to start transitioning the Battlecast into Statcast, specifically in Battlegrounds. So that is relics. Thank you so much, Simon, for talking about that. But I'm pretty sure relics aren't the only thing you're working on right now. Is that right?
Well, I mean, again, like I said, this one is also done, so we're not actively working on this one either. But
That's right.
For some reason, we decided that I was going to ship 2 things in the same build, which scheduling.
Scheduling is fantastic. And you know what, man? I would just love to see some of your work. James, how about we get that on the screen? To begin, perform 5-hit combos and start building towards 2 bars of power. You'll gain core charges when applying Cold Snap on your second medium attack. Solvark also gains charges rapidly when taking damage from mutants, or when inflicted with energy damage from any source. Now, use Solvark's Special 1 and tap Block to convert armor into Energize while entering Release mode. Immediately follow up with another Special 1, sending Solvark back to Absorb mode to continue powering up. Then, use one more Special 1 to become fully energized. Solvark's reverb damage scales with both Energize and Core charges. And now that we're maxed out on both, we can quickly build up to a Special 2 to unleash a hyperkinetic flurry of big red numbers. All right, man, so that was Solvark. How about that? That's the first someone saying bro is not Viv Vision. I mean, yeah, that's correct. That is correct. But that was Solvark. That was our first full look at Solvark. Dude, how about that, man?
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It was fun to get to work on an idle champion. Like for me as a champion designer, the fractured power bar is like an interesting, cool new mechanic to add into these characters. It's always been such a hard gameplay restriction across the whole game. It's like, once you're at special 2, you're at special 2. Once you're at special 3, you're at special 3. Like, but what if I wanted to use special 1?
What if, right? Can we get the slide deck up on the screen, James? So this is Solvark, right? Available starting August 7th. And he does a lot of things, as you can see right here. But instead of me just reading this list, how about we do a little bit of live gameplay? And how about you coach me through it, and you tell me everything Solvark can do?
We're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Let's see
who you're up against here. Solvark is definitely one of those characters that's like very RPG targeted. Solvark wants to hunt energy damage and mutants, so Cyclops should work quite well here.
So what should I do? Should I do medium ending combos?
Medium ending combos, yeah. So you start in your absorb mode, which is that blue icon up beside the armors there. And Solvark's sort of a tempo-based 2-mode champion. And so with the special 1, you can swap between your modes. And so in absorb mode, you'll build that charge up, and your second medium places cold snaps, which gives you additional charge. And then because you're against a mutant, just any time you make contact with that mutant, you're going to get a little bit of charge as well.
Okay, so I'm using a special 1.
Yeah, and that switches you over.
Great.
And then while you're in any of your special attacks, you can tap block. And so you can see you just going into absorb mode, tap block, and you spent your core charge there to build up a bunch of armors. And then you spend those armors going into release mode to get energized. And that gives you a ton of power, which really lets you play around that fractured power bar mechanic. And then once you're in release mode, the fight's over already. That's where all of the damage comes from Solvark. Solvark has a huge reverb effect and takes all of the damage that they do with their hits based on where that core charge is at in release mode, and gets a massive bursts of physical damage.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're doing with this champion, is you're kind of flipping between the 2 modes. You're building up your core charge in absorb. And then once you've got your core charge built up, you've got a bunch of armor ups ready to go, you can flip over to release mode, convert them all over to energizes, and then get just the massive damage payout from the release mode. And then the big combo is like you build up, you get up near your special 3 or all the way to your special 3. You leverage the fact that you don't have to spend all of your power with that fractured power bar mechanic, and you can throw your special 1. You can get a stun off the special 1 if you have a lot of the energizes.
Yes, we do.
And that's going to let you immediately re-engage.
And also, this power control is pretty nice, too, I'm noticing.
There's power control on the special 1. So there's the special 1 and special 2 have different abilities depending on whether you're in release or absorb mode. The absorb mode is all about power control. So the special 1 has a power drain, which is really useful for like cycling special 1s. Even if you push your opponent up to a red bar, to 3 bars of power, that power drain lets you get back into absorb mode and not burn away all of your charge, but do it safely. And then special 2 also has a power drain. It has a slightly unusual. It's got kind of a longer power drain over time effect. And the special in release mode, it also has a heal block as the other half of their sort of utility suite. And those are interesting as well because they pause based on the mode that you're in. So if you really need that heal block, or you really want to ride power control like the whole fight and just avoid that special 3, you can kind of lock yourself into one mode. You lose out on a bunch of the damage, but you can sit on those utility effects for a really, really long time.
Wow. Yeah,
and
that's
then
really cool.
Looking for different ways to sort of flip between the modes and find the right time to build a bunch of energizes, which also give them bonus attack. And if you can really line everything up, you get the like 10 energizes, a full reverb bar, and then into the special 3, which gives you another huge fury based on how high your core charge is, and like that can be a big sort of cash out damage moment.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. Can we get the just the slide deck back on here? Because look at this champion. Look at this wallpaper.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Look at those shoulder pads.
He is such a cool looking champion, man.
Yeah, very cool. It's a lot of fun, and the art team, like they pretty much always do.
They don't miss.
Yeah.
They absolutely do not miss. So also, I believe we also have a graphic from our buddy Cat Modok over here as well. Just all the places where you can get all the Shatter Essence for Solvark. So there's still some more time to get that. And of course, there will be just the regular Shatter Essence bundle in the store as well toward the end of this. But yeah, all those sources are up right there, right? Lots of Shatter Essence still to get. They're always in the weekly deal as well. But yeah, Really cool stuff with Solvark, man.
Right? Exactly. I didn't even talk about his regen. I totally forgot.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that regen real quick?
Oh, okay. So in the process of hunting energy damage, he regens a huge portion of all of the energy damage that you do to them. So it's really like it's got echoes of the old Torch in Battlegrounds, where if you can stick them in front of an energy damage opponent, it'll be a bad day.
That doesn't sound fun at all, so I definitely don't want to do that.
Doesn't sound fun if you're fighting Solvark.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, Solvark is available next week in the store, of course. That's when you can start trading in that Shatter Essence. You need 12 of them. Simon, thank you so much for joining the stream.
Pleasure.
It has been an absolute joy having you on the stream, man. Thank you so much. Before we say goodbye to Simon, that's it, though, actually. I don't even know why I said that. We're going to show the next deep dive. Anyway, Simon, thank you so much for joining. Let's see Cassandra. Stay focused on Cassandra's core mechanics of channeling by holding your heavy attack and stunning the opponent as they run into you with her stop right there stun. From here, continue channeling with heavy attacks to stack Daunteds, and once you've reached 12, your basic attacks will apply Neuroshocks. Much of her damage comes from pausing and amplifying the Neuroshock damage during her special attacks based on Daunteds, which means that timing any of her specials with higher stacks of these effects is more important than deciding which special to use. Try to save your stun cooldown for after using a special. That way, you can immediately begin safely channeling to refresh her Daunted passives. If needed, recover some missing health with the Special 1. Or, you can look to use the Special 2 for a bit more burst damage. Either way, just be sure to maintain a high stack of Daunteds to unleash Cassandra's full psionic powers. All right, what about that? So that is Cassandra Nova. She looks absolutely incredible as well. So Cassandra Nova, can we get the slide? There we go. Cassandra Nova, her pre-release bundles are going to be on August 19th, and those crystals August 28th. As you can see, she's got a lot of stuff going on now. She's got that heavy attack to channel and stack those Daunteds, the counter evade when attacked. That is a really fun one for the passive stun. She's got those Neuroshocks, the marked passive, non-contact hits except for the medium 1, root from that special attack, regen, and massive burst damage off that special 3, which you didn't see just there. You gotta check out the full deep dive for that. Speaking of the deep dives, we did a little format test this month where my team was working really hard to build out a little bit more in-depth, player-friendly video. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about the deep dives this month. Go give them a watch this weekend and make sure you let me know. But before we do that, why don't we switch to some live gameplay here, James, with some Cassandra Nova. Let's go for Nicholas J. Fury here. All right, so what I like to do here is start off with a nice parry heavy, and then I like to just hold it, stack on those Daunteds for the entire duration. And now that I have 12, I can start stacking on those Neuroshocks, okay? So I can bait a special here if I want. I usually push him to special 2, but he wasn't really cooperating. Now, you want to keep going for those heavy attacks. I'll bait out a special. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go for the special 1, and I'm going to channel while he's rooted. Channel, 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 and then manually channel again with the heavy attack, passive stun, and now I'm going to rush up to the special 2, and spoiler alert, that is going to be all that she wrote. Because she's got this really, really cool ability in her kit where skill champions, their regen percentage cannot go above the percentage of their health. So Nick Fury's regeneration rate was at 1%, so she's a really solid Nick Fury counter for sure. She's got a lot going on to counter the skill class. She's also so much fun to play. So much fun to play. So that's some live gameplay of Cassandra. Let's pop back to the slide deck here. Let's back over to the slide deck. So, that's Cassandra Nova. So much going on. Those pre-release bundles are going to be live on August 19th. Crystals in Arena, August 28th. Look at this. Beautiful artwork. Once again, art team do not miss. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a second, guys. Hold on. Pre-release bundles for Cassandra. I didn't talk about pre-release bundles for Solvark. I didn't talk about Arena for Solvark. I didn't talk about any of that. Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, by all the subtle teasing I've been doing over the past couple of months, a little bit less than subtle, maybe not by the forum post we made last week on this character, The champion replacing Solvark in the 7-star pool for pre-release bundle, Titan, all that jazz is my boy, Baron Zemo, finally coming to the 7-star pool. I finally wore down the balance team. It took a long time, but I finally got it to happen. So Baron Zemo's coming on August 7th in that pre-release bundle. I guarantee you right now, I will have the first rank 4 Stake 200 Baron Zemo. I challenge you to beat me there. Crystal's in Arena on August 14th. He's essentially taking Solvark's place entirely as a new champion release, right? Because Solvark has that additional method of acquisition. So Zemo's going to get pre-release bundles, Crystal's Arena. He's also going to be in the Titan pool in September and in that premium gacha for the Grandmaster's Grace. A little reminder if you don't know about that, we're still running this as a saga long test. Will it come back in the future? Very possibly. Will it continue past the saga right away? Possibly. But for now, we're looking at it as a saga long test. So until the end of the Fantastic Four saga, the Grandmaster's Grace system is going to be in place. Giveaways. Did you enter the giveaway yet? Did you like Cassandra? Did you like Solvark? Do you like Zemo? Well, guess what? Play contestofchampions.com/stream giveaway. Go do that for your chance to win a Titan Crystal, for your chance to win a champion choice for one of this month's champions. Speaking of champions, because you guys know I love champions so much, am I going to show you gameplay of Patriot, Yondu, and Modok? Not today. That's going to be the CCP's job. So make sure you go check out all of their fantastic content starting next week on all these champions. But am I going to tell you what's changing with these champions? Are we going to reveal the Patriot buff, the Modok buff, the Yondu buff? Absolutely. But I can only show you so much gameplay in one live stream. Let's start jumping into it. Balance batch number 1 going live next month, starting with Patriot here. Here are some key updates. That heavy charge, we're going to be extending that. Fury duration is going to be increased. Rupture duration is going to be shortened for some quicker bursts of damage. We're going to be adjusting the Special 1 vulnerability, increasing the potency. Multiple vulnerabilities is no longer tied to a rupture being attached. We're also going to make it longer. And that steadfast ability against non-mutant champions at 3 debuffs, that's going to be moved from his signature ability into his base kit, and also against all non-mutant champions, only going to require 3 debuffs. As for Yondu, Yondu's getting a little bit of love here with concussion immunity against mutant champions. We're fully swapping his bleeds for rupture because there are a lot of mutant champions who kinda don't really care about bleeds. Rupture's a little bit more open for him. We're also going to be tuning the damage up and giving it a 100% chance to trigger. On top of that, his Pilfer on Prowess is going to be swapped for an Invalidate to make him a little bit more tech-focused and have him interact with more RPG abilities. We're also going to increase the chance for both of those abilities to happen. Also, he's getting a Stifle debuff on Special 1 activation. His heal block duration is going to be increased, which was already very, very long. And his Special 2 Fury is going to become more potent with the lower max stack rate, and he's going to get a guaranteed Fury on activation. Yondu feels super duper good. And Modok. Modok is getting a completely new SIG ability. His personal debuffs are going to gain some increased ability accuracy. When attacked while his force field is active, he's going to remove all stun effects on him. However, the force field does now start on cooldown. And when the opponent activates a special, he's going to remove their True Strike and True Sense effects. And this is the big one. Auto blocks can now trigger parry, and most importantly, he is still the same super genius. All right, that's not going away. Now, is he going to be a little bit harder to fight? Probably. A little pro tip for you guys: heavy attacks are the way. The heavy attack is going to be removing that force field, and it's also not going to trigger the parry, of course. But Modok, he's going to be a fun time, and of course, he's in that Summoner's Fest Realm Event milestones towards the very top. Both him and Patriots. That's going to be your first chance to get Modok as a 7-star. Batch number 2. So that is batch number 1 for our balance batch. What we're currently targeting January for batch number 2, all right? And so far we have Falcon, Joaquin Torres, and also Deathless Vision as well. Kind of combine the 2 words there. We have Deathless Vision joining batch number 2. Who's gonna round it out? We don't know yet. We're just gonna have to wait and see. So, that was a lot of champions. That was a lot of fun. Let's start moving on to some events happening in August. Solo raids. We've been talking about this for quite a while. So we got solo raids now going on. This is that raid test map that we've been talking about for a bit, right? So the way this is going to work is you get to pick your role, you pick your boost, you pick your mission, and you fight the boss. We're going to be using the champion as the boss here, and it's going to be the champion's animations, but he's going to be having abilities of different champions based on what you pick. Now, since we announced this, people have been saying, oh, please, no damage cap, no damage cap, no damage cap. Give us your feedback. We read all your feedback. We want to make the best game possible for you. No damage cap in solo raids. When this launches, there are going to be solo objectives for a limited time. They're not too crazy, but they're going to give you some refined XP. They're going to give you some raid tickets. It's actually pretty good at the end of the day if you do them every day. And they're also actually going to give you a lot of points towards the daily super event as well. So the way this essentially works is you go onto the map and you fight like a very, very low health, kind of like placeholder champion to essentially like get your crossfight thing so you can build your own fight to test on the boss. That's how that works. That's going live this month. We also have the Alliance Weekly Super Event. You know those Summoner Advancement and Summoner Engagement events? They're gone. They're out. This is going to be similar to the daily super events, all right? Except we're going to make it a lot more fresh, a lot more current, right? So first things first, units are going to be moved to the daily quest rework. We're redoing the Alliance weekly events and also the daily quests. Now, the daily quest rework is getting moved to September. We're pushing that back a little bit for a few reasons, but unit compensation package is going to be coming in August to make up for all those units. Don't worry about that. How does this work? Pretty simple, guys. You're going to earn points by playing the game, both in and out of combat. Also, the rewards are going to include catalysts, loyalty, artifacts, trophy tokens, battle chips, and more. Daily Quest Rework. So this is going to be pushed back again to September. We got to move this one back a month for a couple of different reasons. But regardless, we're still pretty set on how this is going to be, and we're feeling really good about it as well. So let's talk a little bit about the breakdown of the Daily Quest Rework that's launching in September. So the old ones are out, and the new ones are in. The way it's going to work are there going to be 2 repeating standard days based on resources and catalysts. The resources, of course, are ISO and gold, all of that, right? So you can pop in, do your thing, get your ISO and gold. For the catalysts, obviously, they're based on catalysts. For those of you that like to rank up your 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, well, the lower progression levels are going to be there available for you. That way you can get all the catalysts that you ever could need. Now, the big ticket here are the shifting supply runs. Monday through Saturday, they're going to be different materials on alternating days. Monday and Thursday, Tuesday and Friday, Wednesday and Saturday, those are going to be mirrored, and you're going to get different items when you run them. One of those items that are consistent on all the days are a key. You're going to use 4 of those keys on Sunday to enter the Super Daily Quest version on Sunday to get a bunch of great items. So that's what we're looking to do with the Daily Quest rework. That is going to be going live in September. It's a big, I cannot understate this enough, big improvements on the current Daily Quest system. So very, very excited for that. Now it's time to talk about some Rebirth. We're kind of doing a rebirth with the Daily Quest. We also got a Rebirth launching in August. Super duper fun. So obviously those 7-hour crystals, they're coming back. They're going to be updated. The Statcast Relic Alliance event is going to be kicking this thing off. Act 8 Crucible, Login Calendar, Celebration Arena, and my personal favorite thing, those Rebirth champions. Let's start jumping into it. Why do you guys love keys so much? They get you into doors. It's pretty important. All right, so the Relic Alliance event launching on August 8th, all right? You're going to earn points by opening Statcast relics of any rarity, ranking relics, any kind of relic, completing gameplay solo objectives involving relics, again, with any kind of relic. And one of the final milestones gives a Rebirth token, but don't worry, because there are more than 3 Rebirth tokens this year, so if you're not in an alliance or you don't want to open relic crystals, you can still get your champion selector for Rebirth and all that fun stuff. There's also going to be ranked rewards, of course, for alliances who contribute the most, and that's launching on August 8th. Remember the Crucible last year, the August 7th Crucible? We're doing August 7th, the Act 7 Crucible. They both start with A in my defense here. So this year we're updating that for Act 8, but guess what? We're doing 1 path on this one. So the legendary difficulty is going to be 1 path. Normal difficulty is still 4 paths. We're utilizing that same elimination choice nodes between the fights. This is permanent content, but if you do it in the time frame, you get 2 Rebirth tokens for finishing during the event. We're also launching a Realm event for the Crucible specifically. You're going to gain points for completing objectives, defeating opponents in the quest, and also using revives, very similar to that Road to the Crypt style thing we did for Necropolis. And there's going to be rewards based on Rebirth Pool 6 stones and gems in the milestone rewards, and a token in the top milestone for your selector. Now, if you complete the Crucible and the Mini Crucible, you can reach the top of the milestones. Wait a minute. Mini Crucible? What's the Mini Crucible? Don't worry, I got you. I'll tell you all about it. The Mini Crucible is our version of the side quest in August, launching on August 13th. It's a lighter version of the Act 8 Crucible with 4 quests, or I guess 4 chapters, 2 quests each, 1 path in each of them. 3-star defenders, 2-star attackers for the regular bosses, 3-star defenders, 3-star attackers for the bosses. Going to be some Mysterium-based rewards. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Some more 2-star content, more 3-star content. It's always a good time. Moving forward, Rebirth Part 2. Not really Part 2 in a way, it's still the same Rebirth event, but launching on August 20th. For 2 weeks, that's when you're going to start getting those 7-hour crystals. You know, those are very similar to the current ones, but they're going to be updated to keep you fresh and keep up with the time. We also got the calendar going for 14 days and the arena like we always do for this event, right? And of course, both of those are going to be giving Rebirth tokens. That way you can get yourself a Rebirth champion selector of your choice. And my favorite personal part are the Rebirth champions. Now, am I going to show you gameplay of all 6 of these champions? Yes, I am. James, roll it. You know what? I love showing champion clips so much. I was so excited about Zemo, I forgot. I went in and made a Zemo clip to show James. Put Zemo on the screen. Look at this, man. I went in with the 7-star rank 4 Zemo. All Zemos on the team into Necropolis. 90,000 damage per second in bleed damage. 90,000 per second. That is absolutely insane. You want to know what else is absolutely insane? Those 6 champions from Rebirth. Now, we had a lot of champion content today, so in order to kind of help support that, I brought along the champ daddy himself. We got Kabam Neve here. What is going on, buddy?
Hey,
how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Dude, so good, man. It's so great to have you on the stream.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Yeah.
How's it going today?
It's good. I had to wake up early for the stream, but other than that, it was fine.
Sorry about that. Now, I do have to apologize, by the way, because before, when Simon was on, I made a comment, and I said that the best mustache in the battle realm is going to be
really
joining us.
upset.
I understand that. So I haven't spent too much time really looking at Aiden's face lately, but look at that stick. Can we get a zoom in on that face? Just look at that. Look at that glorious mustache he's got going on. So that's fantastic. So, Aiden, we got a lot of fun champion content going on this month, right? So why don't you walk us through a little bit, like what are we doing with Rebirth? What's going on with these 6 champions?
Yeah, so it was a bit of an interesting situation. We were looking at releasing some new champions at 7-star, and they were sort of a batch of champions that we knew were potentials, but could use a little bit of love. It's like, you know, we could release them, but it would just be fine. It wouldn't be great. And so we kind of took a look at the opportunity, took a look at the champions, and we also had a little bit of a gap in our schedule, partly because of the new sort of balance cadence. We're like, okay, we actually have this time just like enough wiggle room to give them sort of love in general areas, for lack of a better phrase. So a bunch of them got some numbers tune-ups, a bunch of them got some sort of ability and mechanics tweaks. There were some bug fixes that we found over the process. So this was kind of unique to this point opportunity where we haven't done something kind of like this before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out pretty great. So this is the set of Rebirth champions. This is
That's
a bunch of
great.
champions and tune-ups.
I think that's fantastic. Now, there's a question I've been so excited to ask you for about 3 weeks now, live on stream. Does it stress you out that we're essentially buffing 9 champions in one build?
No, it's totally fine. This wasn't problematic. I mean, it was definitely an interesting experience. Obviously, the balance team, champ design team, end to end, the whole team is really great. We've been firing on all cylinders, I feel like, this year. So all of those skills, I have incredible confidence in the team. But it was a lot to fit in a single build. We haven't really jam-packed a build like this in at least a while. It's probably happened before, but it's been a minute. Yeah. So there was definitely an element of stress there, primarily in just, there's lots of factors changing, lots of play tests that we have to do. So yeah, I'm confident in our work, and this is really exciting, but yeah, it was definitely a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching you guys do it, of course. I was jumping in, testing them as we went along. I was like, this is pretty insane stuff that we're doing right now. I'm really curious, out of these 6 champions, who's kind of your favorite? Who are you most excited for?
So I'm most excited for the Night Thrasher update.
Yeah.
But specifically, it's just that's kind of a bit of a personal piece where Night Thrasher was being worked on by one of my coworkers right when I started at the company. I was working on Emma Frost at the time. He was working on Night Thrasher. And so there's kind of an emotional connection there as far as just, those are the early days. That's when I was, just a
wee lad.
Just a wee lad working on champions. So I've always had a soft spot for Night Thrasher. And there's lots of just fun mechanics there that I've always hoped would kind of see not the light of day, but a better light upon them.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he's my personal favorite of the Rebirth champs, but there's lots of good stuff in there. I'll also mention Sabretooth has always been kind of a neat champion to me. I really, really, really like the way that Sabretooth regen mechanic was implemented, so it's great that he's also getting some love.
I love that. Yeah. It's it's interesting for me. Sabretooth is kind of like my emotional attachment back in the day when I was starting out. Like many players do, I was stuck on the Masochism quest in Act 5, right? Lines in the Sand. I remember the name because I was there for so long. It's the only quest I've ever been stuck on. Yeah. And the way I got through it was Sabretooth came to the arena, and I actually think Seaton made a video and was like, this synergy is so OP, mate. Like, you have to look at this. And
that was a slightly above average Seaton impression.
Thank you. He actually hates when I do that. But it was the synergy with Killmonger or Black Panther, where essentially you can ignore masochism, right? Yeah. So I grinded the arena. I did not have a huge roster, so I was really doing that to get the 4-star Sabretooth, and I pushed through it like that, and he's always been a huge soft spot for me because of that.
I did see a question in the chat, are these changes permanent? Yes, these are just permanent improvements to the champions. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Someone's saying they nerfed Voodoo. No, we absolutely did not.
No,
nerf
we did not nerf Voodoo.
He is much better.
The kit did get he was kind of the oldest of the champions. There was some pretty sizable kind of back-end coding work we had to do just because of the age of the kit, but definitely did not nerf Voodoo. Yeah,
no, all 6 of them feel absolutely incredible. I will say that Cull Obsidian feels absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I forget who it was. One of the balance designers was like, there's a couple champions I personally am excited for to have, but Cull Obsidian is the one that I'm scared for other people to have.
100%. I mean, that Hulk fight that I showed in the clip was about 12 seconds. Yep. That's, of course, fully ramped, but just absolutely incredible stuff going on. Yep. Speaking of, updates and everything, Viv didn't get too much of an update, right? She's more so some bug fixes, and also she's now better against Domino.
Yep, pretty much. She was the case of, she was just recent enough, modern enough that she didn't need a big touch-up. That was kind of the spot, this originally began with us just looking at some 7-star champs to release. She was already on that short list. And so they would all kind of probably have been released at some point, but this was a good opportunity to get them a touch-up at the same time.
I think that's great. Now, so speaking of champions, there's one question I didn't get to ask you. It's, you've been here for a while as well. Aiden does so many incredible things on the team. He's responsible for so much of the stuff that you guys know and love. Behind the scenes, a very, very hard worker. But who are some of your favorite champions that you've made?
So I think I get asked this question every single time I'm on stream.
It's a great question.
My usual answer is that I love all my children equally, but I love Hulkling the most. That is still true to this day. But I think what I've learned over time is that there's like bits of individual champions that I love the most. For instance, I did Nefaria last year, and the like evade the last hit of special attacks mechanic, I really, really enjoyed the gameplay of that. And so just for every single champion, there's always something that I would really love.
I love that. And North Star as well, right?
Yes, North Star was another big one for me, just to get that kind of personal connection thing. He was a champion I always wanted to work on. I didn't think we were actually going to ever add North Star to the contest when I first started, but then, as soon as I saw him on the roadmap, I was like, I'm just going to do this one. This one's mine.
Absolutely. Also, we're getting a quick question in chat, by the way. It says, Aiden, would you mind telling us why Mike is your favorite coworker? And then they said, please be very specific.
They didn't say which Mike.
Yeah, they didn't say which Mike.
All right, so...
just gonna skate over that one and not touch it.
That's the third best mustache in the room. So.
Yeah.
All right, so now tell us real quick.
You're a joyful communicator.
I love it. You know what? I'll take that.
Yeah.
I actually like that quite a bit.
There we go.
That's great. It's going on my LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
Anyway, so why don't you tell us, what are you working on next?
I mean, it's a mystery. No. So I've been working on Mr. Knight. He's coming out. Yeah, gasp.
That's not coming up next month though, so we can't really see that.
Yeah.
Unless we could.
We have it ready, actually.
Yeah,
Surprise.
but you're gonna have to wait a little bit, because before we do that, we are gonna jump into a little bit of, well, of course, the giveaway.
Yes.
Don't forget the giveaway. You gotta do the giveaway. Do the giveaway. We're gonna announce those winners in just a little bit, but we are gonna jump into the roadmap, recap, and updates before we dive into Mr. Knight.
Yep. Do it.
So, Radiance is now live. Radiance has done a lot of great things for the game. Of course, right? It's done pretty much exactly what we wanted it to do. So Radiance is live in pretty much every competitive game mode right now. Jump on in, Alliance War, AQ, Raids, Battlegrounds, all of that stuff. Alliance War, a new thing. So a new thing is a very, very interesting thing to me, right? Because when I first launched, oh my God, like the feedback was so unbelievably negative. And as time went on, it really started to shift to the point now where it's like, hey, can we get some more of that other thing? Can we kind of miss that thing that I said I didn't like? So it's an interesting thing. Of course, obviously, there was a big survey that went out, and the game team is, assessing and looking at all of that. And of course, we're always going to be iterating and trying new things, as we've been saying all stream, essentially, right? So yeah, let's keep on moving forward here. Battlegrounds, what's next? Nothing too crazy new to add onto this from what we said last time. Of course, there's the whitelist and the blacklist. That was a little touchy last time that Kabam Zen talked about. I do want Kabam Zen to come back onto the stream. I asked him to come back next month, and he gave me a thumbs up emoji on Slack, so I'm taking that as a yes for now.
That's definitely a confirmation.
Yeah, I'm taking that as a yes.
There's
So,
no way of rolling
I'd
back
love
an
to
emoji.
talk a little bit more about that in in the future, of course, right? What about side quests? Again, we've been talking about that so much. We've been talking about that so much. We got the Fantastic Force recruitment. We got some Dimensional Arcade going on. We just want to keep experimenting with new things and starting new, keeping it fresh, Auto-scaling Event Quest, that's going live in September, the adaptive difficulty, we talked about that. Solar Rays are coming. Look at all of this stuff that we said we were gonna do. We're delivering on it. Daily Crest rework, that is pushed back a little bit, but that is coming in September. Mysterium update is now live. The Weekly Alliance Super Event is live this month. The Sigil update is live right now. Oh my God, what is this? An Act 6 update. I haven't seen anybody ask for anything in regards to Act 6 reward updates or content updates or anything. So it is happening. It is in progress. Yes, we see all of your feedback, of course, right? Updates are actively in development for Act 6. We're still a few months away. There are going to be more details to come soon, but there will be updates to rewards and also the content itself. So, do you want to speak just a little bit on that? The game is very different.
Yeah, that's kind of the short version of it, is that when Act 6 launched and the Grandmaster fight launched, it really kind of changed what a boss fight in MCOC could be. We've learned a lot since that point. But it has also aged. We've learned even more since that point, and our general approach to Act content is also altered. And furthermore, players are progressing through the game differently. Rosters and general growth and moving through chapters is different than it was before. So it's kind of just time to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I think that's good. And that's pretty much just about. I don't know what that is. That's Mole Man. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this.
Yes.
Omega Days champions are also joining the base pool in the next Titan rollover. So those 6 champions, yes, we've heard your feedback. Continue giving us your feedback. All 6 champions in Omega Days are going to be joining the base pool in September when the Titan rolls over. That's the one with Cassandra Nova, Zemo. Oh my God, who else? Carolina Dean, Nico Minoru.
You could have just said Zemo a whole bunch of times.
Zemo so many times, that's right. But yes, About Time, Long Shot, Fire. Finally, yes, Titan Pool L. I don't know about that. But yeah, Omega Days champions, they're joining the base pool. Listen, we've heard your feedback. We hear your feedback on everything. I'm being so serious when I say that. Like, we seriously spend many hours every week reading everything that you say. I personally get very stressed out when I have notification that's not read. So I really do read everything, you know? So even if we're not always like responding to every thread because there's multiple threads of the same thing and it's a little difficult to navigate sometimes on the forums in all fairness. But we read everything, you know, we package it together, we bring it to the game team, we work together to just make the best thing possible for the players, you know? And that's where we're at. So that's our little roadmap recap there. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious, Mr. Knight. How exciting is this? This guy looks absolutely incredible.
Sweet.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this guy?
Yeah, so I guess in the champion design process, we always start with the lore of the champion. So for those who are unaware, Mr. Knight is an alternate persona of Moon Knight. They are fundamentally the same person, but just, a different personality. Mr. Knight is... what's the best way to summarize it? He's kind of friendlier and a little bit less violent, but still kind of violent. He's got more of a kind of fighting criminals on the street sort of vibe. He runs or ran a sort of civilian help thing called the Midnight Mission. So, and he's less kind of the violent vigilante avatar of Khonshu, and just a little bit more of a personable person. So, we tried to just capture that in the kit, basically.
And let's see if we did. James, a little peek?
Yep.
That was a lot of not red numbers, a lot of yellow numbers. That's what I saw there, man.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about what we saw going on there.
Yeah, so there's a couple different things going on in the gameplay. Maybe the most notable thing, or that people will be most interested in, is did we bring back the real-life moon mechanics from Moon Knight?
Of course.
And no, we did not bring those back. We thought about it, we talked about it, but ultimately, from reading general reactions to Moon Knight, the 8 people who play him, it was a little bit unsatisfying to have an inconsistent champion playstyle based on what the actual Moon is doing and not necessarily, getting the stuns, for instance. And so there is a synergy for Mr. Knight that involves the real-life Moon, but we did away with the actual kind of real-life Moon mechanic and instead swapped it over to just more of a typical Moon cycle. There is still the Moon present in the fight, that's key to the champion, but it'll just sort of change naturally over the course of the fight. So that's kind of the first element there, is that when you're playing as Mr. Knight, you're going to want to be cognizant of what Moon phase it is. So that's kind of the first half of the kit. It'll primarily affect his crits. He gets guaranteed crits during the full moon.
Oh, I love that.
And then the other half of the kit is kind of this a little bit beat up criminals investigation kind of element, where you want to punish the opponent's special and heavy attacks, and you want to especially do it with the light attack, and that'll steadily stack up injury effects on the opponent. I think this is the first time we've reused injury since Squirrel Girl and a Spider-Man synergy. So that lowers the opponent's physical resistance, but then also Mr. Knight gets a bunch of bonus effects for stacking up injury. He gets panic, he'll inflict tranquilize. He's a very heavy tranquilized focused champion.
Okay.
That was kind of a major meta goal for us, as we wanted to get more tranquilize into the game. So you'll see a lot of that. He has a new effect called Reckless, which increases the chance for the opponent to throw heavy attacks. So yeah, he's going to generally stack up. And then the special attacks all generally key off of these other kind of moon mechanics, guaranteed crits. He's got another new mechanic called Light Proficiency, which increases the damage of his light attacks to an astronomical amount. The lights do a ton of damage.
I
saw in the chat someone was like, he has a really big stick, and he'll use the baton, the truncheon, for his light attacks. It's got really good range on it. So yeah, that's Mr. Knight.
Great, man. Can we get the slide deck up so we can see this guy in the wallpaper again? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks so good.
And also, he's a Summoner's Choice champion.
Yes.
I love Summoner's Choice.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. I mean, we've been doing it for a number of years now.
Yeah.
And it's
walk us through that a bit. Like, so what's the history of Summoner's Choice?
Well, I mean, it started with Hercules.
Your favorite champion?
He's definitely a champion. And so we've been doing it every year since then. And it's been kind of interesting mixes back and forth. Because yes, it is Summoner's Choice. We really, really love getting the community and the players involved there. But we've also kind of tweaked it every year. They've always had their own kind of spin and individualism. The individual champions have been like very varied and kind of all over the place, from both, you know, their classes and their final mechanics and like their long-standingness in the contest and gameplay mechanics. So it's really, really cool, and I kind of, you know, look forward to it every year. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Nice, man. Yeah, I love Summoner's Choice so much, and I love that we do it every year. I wish that we could do it more than just once every year.
That'd be really nice.
What do you think?
Maybe.
Think we should do it?
Maybe.
Think we should do it? I think we should do it. Oh my God, Summoner's Choice Rework 2025. This is very similar to what we did with Doctor Strange and Cyclops.
Infamously.
Right? Yes, infamously. You know how I feel about that. I think that vote is still going on.
You can still vote, I think.
Don't love that. Don't love that at all. So anyway, we're going to be doing the Summoner's Choice Rework 2025, and we're going to be announcing that right here. It's going to be super duper fun. And also, how are we going to do that? Do you know who is coming to the contest? Well, don't say it yet, because Aiden, I got a little bit of a surprise here. We're going to reveal that. Can we get this wide shot, James?
This is wow.
All right, here we go.
This was not part of the rehearsal.
So, Aiden, I went to the store and I said, I got my buddy Aiden on the stream, and we have to make this special. This is going to be big. I went in and I said, I need the largest possible poster of all of these champions. And they said, well, I got this size. And I said, that's not good enough. It has to be bigger. So I went to a different store. You get to reveal these to the fine people at home. Okay. Come show who's in the vote.
How am I just like peel this off?
No, you're going to turn it around, bud. I did an arts and crafts project.
Okay, how am I just grabbing it here?
I'll just grab it.
All right, the first, I don't know what, are we using this in the middle cam?
Yeah, it's code number three.
All right, the first one is Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, look at that. Yeah, that's right.
Steady progress.
You can take these home, by the way. These are all yours.
I do not want to do that. All right, okay. And then the next reworked candidate, are we ready, is Black Widow.
Black Widow. We got Black Widow.
Gotta cover up.
We got Winter Soldier.
Oh, God.
Who else do we got?
All right, next up.
That's a cool one.
The next rework option is Original Ghost Rider.
Look at that.
It's actually really nice art.
It's really nice, right? And we got one more as well.
All right, and the last rework candidate is Loki. Loki Lofton.
Loki, so we got Loki. We got Ghost Rider.
Hand me the...
Hey, Vincent, why don't you come over here for a second, buddy? Come get involved.
I also have a mustache and shorts.
There you go. How about that? How about that? Look at this. Look what we got going on. Summoner's Choice Rework 2025. Now, how is this vote going to be live? That's really important as well.
Are you okay?
Because I'm fine. I am good. We're insured. So,
how is Vincent still taller than you?
So, how is this going to be live? In the past, we've done so many things. We've had go in, do all of your fights, get your votes. James, do you mind telling me what time it is, buddy? Anybody with a watch?
It's 10:15.
It's a 10:15. That means the vote is live in-game right now. So if you go in, you're going to have a message in the mail. You get one vote. Everybody gets one vote, and there is one round between Loki, Ghost Rider, Winter Soldier, and Black Widow. Get in there and use your voice and vote for who you want to get a full rework in Summoner's Choice 2025.
Yep.
Super exciting. All right.
Did you
what?
plan a dismount for this? 'Cause I don't know.
I honestly, I didn't think I would get this far.
Here, yeah. Well,
All right, so let us know in the chat who
hang
you're
out
going to be
there.
voting for. Simon's in the corner. It's fantastic. I'm seeing some Loki. I'm seeing some Ghost Rider. I'm seeing some Black Widow. I'm seeing some Winter Soldier. Look at that. That seems like a really fun one. Here's some official art for you as well. Can we get that on the screen, James? Look at that. Look at this beautiful, beautiful stuff. That was Vincent running across the screen there. Absolutely incredible. Who will you vote for? I want to know. Get in game and vote. It's going to be a fun time.
yep. It's gonna be sweet.
It's going to be a really, really fun time.
Looking forward to it.
All right, so that was the big bulk of our show. Now I do believe we got some giveaway winners to give away things to. How about that? Coming up first, are we good on this? We are good on this, right? Okay, so up first for the Titan Crystal, we got One Life DCA, TXD 27, Karichi, Bem 1982, and Rico Barbosa. The winners of a Titan Crystal, congratulations. Absolutely incredible. See what happens when you enter to win. And for your champion choice between Cassandra Nova, Solvark, or Baron Zemo, we got Licorice 03, Watto 97, Till Infinity, Centennial.
I think you got it right the first time.
Centennial.
Centennial.
That's a tongue twister right there. Capped Trick and Amit 57111. So a little tiny recap of what's coming in August as well. This is the best time to return to the contest. But hey, if you're here, you're probably already in the contest. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back, it's the best time. We got some Dimensional Arcade going on for a little bit longer. We got a little bit of a Fantastic Force recruitment event going on for a little bit longer. A big Rebirth event. It's going to be really fun. Some great new champions. We got 9 champion updates coming in August. It's a really, really fun time. Plus, the launch of Statcast Relics. Lots of really exciting things going on in the contest. I'm super excited. I'm so glad to be here with all of you guys, to let you in on all of this, to peel back the curtain and show you guys a little bit of what we're working on and just share the excitement with you. Aiden, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks for being a good sport with the posters, man. I was so excited about that.
That was disorienting.
And thank you so much to Simon and Vincent and James and everybody else and the Champ Daddy himself.
How dare you? How dare you?
All right, that is it for the stream. Thank you all so much for watching on Twitch, YouTube, and Steam. Get in there and vote. And remember, we'll see you in the battle realm. There you go. That's right.
It.
You did it.